He began his career in youth television, and at that time he was completing a degree towards media studies. And Paul Mnisi, who grew to become known as popular radio host RudeBoy Paul, has created a legacy in his own right, and he's been in the game of broadcasting for 20 years now, believe it or not. From his days with Voice of Soweto to YFM and now Power FM, Paul Mnisi has taken over the airwaves in some or other memorable way, and many people now, as much as he still looks young, would say, you know, I remember when I was young, this, that, and the other, and now my children listen to Paul as well. He joins us on the show to discuss his 20-year-long career and other activities that he's involved in. Paul, pleasure to catch up with you.
Yes, good to see you again.
You know,
Definitely.
We worked together at Power FM. Yes. There was no need for me to interview you or you to interview me.
Oh, yeah,
so here we sit together, and I'm going to probe you or talk about your work at Power. How's it going there now?
Fantastic. Power is good. Slow growth, I think. But I think we'd like to see sort of more growth. But really, I can only speak for myself and the offering that I bring to the platform.
Yes.
I'm really growing. Having rubbed shoulders with the likes of yourself as well, Bopra Lawrence Tlhabane, it really just gives us a little bit of a push, you know, to do that much better. So all in all, I think a very good environment.
But 20 years in broadcasting, starting obviously radio,
yes,
and somehow visiting television, and then going back to radio. Any changes you've seen, and you yourself, do you think you've changed over time? From even your days at YFM?
I've certainly grown a lot. I mean, having started it, I think, 1996 at Voice of Soweto. And in fact, I bumped into Mpumi Dagile, who was part of the management at Voice of Soweto a few days ago. And I told him that, you know, despite the fact that I was from the East Rand, you still gave me a chance, Voice of Soweto being a Soweto community station.
Sure.
And that's where it started. And I think, you know, from there, enter Power FM in 1997. We sort of were all hungry, and you know, there was a new spark amongst all of us.
YFM, you mean? Sorry, you said Power FM. For a moment, I got lost.
YFM.
Yes.
There you go.
Yeah.
So there was a spark there. I think we're, you know, as I mentioned, we were all hungry for something, you know, that will change the scope of radio.
No, you definitely became a new, different voice.
Oh yeah,
altogether.
we had to. Oh yeah, we had to.
Yeah.
The likes of Dirk Hartford were heading up, you know, the operations, assisted by the likes of Greg Maloka, who's now MD at Kaya FM. And really, they modeled the station into, you know, this young revolutionary station at a new point, at a new time. And I think we came in at just the right time, and I got an opportunity to indulge and engage in so many things within my time slot. The Rap Activity Jam. I did a little bit of talk with a program I had in line with Love Life called Youth Crossfire. So you know, I was dabbling in all elements of the medium, which helped me so much. And I go into Power FM now, and really I'm stable with what presentation I have to give on that platform.
But you also went through television, right?
Yes.
And I wonder how, because for me personally, and I know over many years, one had a particular preference. You always felt stronger in one medium than the other and had a preference. Did you have that kind of challenge? And for you working for television, what is the contribution that you think TV made to your growth in your career?
In fact, I started off with television.
Okay.
A program called Ecovision.
Yes.
Many years ago with the likes of Carol Bauer.
Yeah.
And, you know, that obviously, you know, just sort of translated into the radio element. But Tim, as far as you know, there's nothing like radio. You know, that whole element of the theater of the mind, keeping the listener guessing as to what is happening in there with your guests, you know, as you take them through, you know.
And the intimacy of it as well, that it's a very personal thing with the listener, yeah?
I mean, that always sits, you know, very close to my heart. I think TV, there's too many stops and starts. I want to go.
You know, it's a similar thing for me, but I think I'm getting used to it, right? It's growing on me, so to speak. But it's great fun. TV, very powerful and influential, but I think radio remains a very, very intimate medium that people develop a personal relationship with. But anyway, coming back to your radio work, you play music at Power. It's mainly a talk station. So is it difficult to generate your own base, support base, following, and so on?
It is not. Fortunately, because I mean, those two elements I dabbled with back in the days at YFM. Did a bit of talk, as I mentioned, with Youth Crossfire. And that, I think at a time, sort of prepared me, for the little bit of talk that I am able to do on Power. And music has always been the love. But Tim, I'll have you know, I've got 2 albums in the bag now.
Okay, well, good for you. I just spent time hanging around the studios when groups were performing music and said, no, change this, change that, but never really tried to make music myself.
No, I dabbled in that, in a bit of production as well. But I mean, I took it more to the, Africanized, sound. I worked with the likes of Zemngcawane, Victor Ntoni, Bomambu Simhlongo. That's where my heart lies. And, of late, I've fallen in love with jazz and VJ double as well.
Of course. Yeah. Well, what can we do? Yeah. You've got to build from somewhere and keep the game going.
For sure.
Now, talking about music, 90% of local music being played by the SABC. Do you feel that it's something you would want to do yourself, or has it made any difference from where you're sitting?
It is something I've been championing on radio for a very long time, and I would get in trouble with programming a lot of the time. I still do now and then, because I feel comfortable playing umculo wethu, umculo wasekhaya, Mina Warona, because I've got no other reference points. There's so many cultural groups within this country, and we seldom just overlook, the musicality within them. Because more than just music, African music, I believe, Bratim, is a spiritual, sonic sound, that comes out. And I think with, us always grabbing onto outside media and what we're being bombarded with, we seldom take a look at home and see how rich our music is. And hence my albums that I was telling you about earlier, they were called Azanian Pulse series. There's Azanian Pulse 1 and 2. And that is where I try to encapsulate, in no uncertain terms, the music of South Africa, as it were.
Okay. Now, our viewers must catch you on radio what time, and then tell us about the production company, those who want to do business with you. You see, I'm giving you a free plug.
There you go. Well, I'm on Power FM between 6 and 9 every Saturdays and Sundays, and we're pushing a production company where we do media strategy. We do a little bit of copywriting, which I learned earlier in my days of television at Ecovision. I used to translate scripts. We do production management as well, and there's also that studio line where we do audio design.
And your email address or website?
Right. People can get a hold of me, paul@powerfm.co.za.
There you go. Paul, thank you very much for coming around and catching up with us.
Good to see you, Bratim.
Much of a pleasure. RudeBoy Paul Mnisi, radio television personality. And there you are. He's been in the game for 20 years now. I cannot believe this. I remember when he was still a young fellow starting. For me, then it felt like I had been here for too long, and we're still going. Thanks very much. I hope and trust you enjoyed tonight's program, and we invite you to join us again next time. And from us, good night to you.